G'day there, and welcome to a little look at Torchlight 2. This is it's basically a hack and slash RPG. If you've ever played the first one, it's much the same, except they've expanded the world quite a bit. So there's a couple of different towns, a few different acts. It kind of follows the structure a bit more of something like Diablo, but it's a lot more fun than Diablo, in my opinion. I'm playing as an Outlander. Jesus, these guys are like sand people. They just come up everywhere. Just drill them. So this would basically be a little bit like a review, just an informative video to show how the game plays and some of the things you can do in the game. Obviously, at the moment I've got a pet with me. That's a panther. It's something you select upon creation of your character, much like you did in the first game. And so yeah, it's quite a. It's very much similar to the first game. It's just a lot bigger and a lot more you can do. As an Outlander, I use shotguns and pistols, and you can use like bows and arrows and things like that. But I'm mostly spec'd into using the shotgun, so that's what I prefer to use. So a couple of different random events like this one here, for example. Bunch of people around this guy, and once you kill all those people, he usually, there's some more here, and another one over there. He usually, like, there you go, and now he gives you a reward for saving him. So there's a bunch of little usually just select the one that sells for the most. Bunch of little things like that are around the place, as well as obviously this is a rare creep or a rare mob. Doesn't get past the shotgun on that occasion. They're not too hard to kill. It's a fairly casual game, so it's fairly relaxed. You don't have to worry too much about applying yourself too much. But then there are the options to increase the difficulty down the track. It's really a great game in the way that you sort of select how you want to play, and it's always a random world, so you're never playing in the same. You're never playing the same maps, I should say. They're always getting randomized. Here's another rare mob. This guy's a little bit more difficult than the other guy, but once you hit him with a shotgun a few times, my shotgun has the effect to blind, which essentially makes them walk around not knowing what they're doing, a bit like a stun, I guess, and it has a fairly high chance to do that, which is quite handy in battle. Here's another random creep over here as well. A couple of different spells that I'm using at the moment. That one's the poison bullets from Sky, which is pretty cool. And here's another kind of mini event type thing. I just got paralyzed. No, come out! There we go. A couple of different things, like this guy just dropped a mysterious gem, which is for this this mini event right here where you put the socket in and then it raises up some chests and then you collect some stuff out of the chest. It just does a few little different things. Like, obviously it's not a major thing different, but it just breaks up that kind of, the way that you loot and stuff like that is a little bit different as well. So you might find a chest and you open the chest, and then you have to fight a bunch of different opponents before you can actually pick up all the loot and stuff like that. So I guess it just changes the gameplay slightly and just keeps it fresh. Like, you're never really sure what you're going to get when you open the chest. Is there going to be a bunch of enemies that spawn around you, or are you going to be locked into a room and have to fight your way out? It's kind of, it just puts the edge on it that makes it just a little bit fresh and a little bit different. Obviously it does a whole lot of the same things that things like Diablo does, but it does have its own little things in there as well, which make it real good. Currently, I've been playing this for about a week, and I'm currently level 65 or 66. Max level is 100, and the good thing I find about this game is the leveling is scaled fairly well. So You know, at the start of the game you level up quite quickly and quite frequently, and even now I'm finding that I'm still leveling quite frequently, which is really good. Just because obviously there's nothing worse, I find, in an RPG when you kind of have to grind, you know, like an hour or something to get a level when you're like a 60 and above. So this game kind of keeps it fresh and gives you that sense of progression throughout the game, which is quite good. So you're sort of leveling quite a bit, and it just makes it quite nice. And I'm overburdened here. I got too much in my bloody inventory, which is not a problem because I can just pass it off to my pet. That also has an inventory space, which is pretty handy at the best of times when you got that full bag when you're out and about and you're inventorying. And it's pretty good just to unload all the crap that you don't want onto your pet, and your pet can actually go back to town and sell it. And much like it did in the first game. Gee, that's a pretty nice wand. I might hold on to that for an alt character if I ever make a mage. Or two different types of stashes over here. There's a shared stash. I'm just been popping in some items that I might be using on a different character, and obviously the wand I don't use on my character, so I'm just going to pop that in the shared stash. Can head out this way. Side quests are in green, so I'll accept that side quest. It's pretty good. There's like zoning now, so this actually says it's level 68 to go out there, which means it's going to be a little bit difficult for me. It's 66. Still give it a red hot go though, because I'm almost 67, which will get me closer to what I have to be. Sell on the junk items. A couple of different things you can do in town. Obviously there's a guy over here with some dices above his head. Basically you can buy unidentified items, so you've no idea what the stats could be. A little bit of a gamble, but you know, you could come out with a real decent weapon, so it's not a bad idea. The other thing is the enchanting and the recipe guy, so you put a bunch of stuff in there and you can click the button, and for example these 3 gems, and I click that and it just gives me a random gem of that level. That's just a basic recipe, and this guy is for enchanting, so you pop a weapon in there, you click on enchant, and that really does essentially where you spend majority of your money at the higher levels, just enchanting non-stop, which is basically, yeah, all you ever do at the higher levels. Grind for money and stuff like that. There's also I've just gone outside this bloody area now, but probably just go back quickly. I've basically I have beaten the game already and I'm replaying it, which gives you this, if you look at the character, it's level 66 and it's got NG plus, which means new game plus, which is basically I'm playing through my second time round, and I have access to the map works, which is kind of like a little place you can always go once you finish the game. Talk to the map guy and he sells you all different kinds of maps that actually have different attributes. So you know, in this particular dungeon here I get 5% increased experience gain, but the problem is there's also fours and against, so the monsters actually get a 20% chance to freeze me for 4 seconds, but the 5% is pretty decent. Now it's level 66 to 75, and then you click on the map selector and click the tick button, sends you straight into that dungeon, and the dungeons are random all the time. The more you reroll your world, the maps change in that vendor, so you'll get a whole heap of different ones. And I'm not expecting this map to be easy at all. They're going to be all around my level, and I guarantee the boss will be a little bit higher. He'll probably be about 70, so it will be a bit of a difficult fight. You do have to sort of be a little bit careful when you're approaching tougher creatures and monsters, because some of them hit pretty hard with certain spells. I find with the chests as well, there's always a chance that the chests are like trapped, so they have a trap on them, and if you hit them, some of them launch out fireballs that follow you around for a little bit. You have to be fairly careful that you don't get hit up by them, because they can hit quite a lot of damage and one hit you, so you do have to be a little bit on your feet when it comes to that. But like these things here, the Seeking Rockets just drill me. But that's essentially the basics of the game anyway. The combat and stuff like that's very much like anything you've played before, Diablo or Torchlight 1, but the game has unbelievable replay value just with the idea of the random maps and everything like that. You'll never get sort of bored of running through completely randomized dungeons. And so yeah, no, it's definitely worth the game getting. It's only $20 on Steam, so by all means go and have a look. I really do highly recommend it because it's just, obviously for 20 bucks you can't go wrong. It's just a cheap game and it's just great fun really. It's just casual gaming. You know, Diablo 3 is probably a more serious type game when it comes to these kind of hack and slash games, but this one's kind of casual and more fun. I've had a lot more fun with this than I did with Diablo 3. After a while Diablo 3 gets very tedious, very repetitive. This game for me, I mean I've been playing it non-stop for a long time, and well, for a week, like a long time is a week, but I mean I've been playing it non-stop, so it's usually pretty easy for a game to get quite boring over that period of time. But like I say, leveling up fairly regularly helps keep the game fresh. Alright, well I'll end it here, but yeah, that was just a little look at Torchlight 2, and yeah, there's a bunch of different classes that you can go, and like I say, it really is endless fun. There's plenty of multiplayer as well, plenty of multiplayer options too, online or over your local area. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm hoping it gave you a bit of an insight to Torchlight 2. Thanks for watching.